This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
An incredibly intriguing game between Melbourne United and Cairns. Now, Cairns were the surprise packets earlier in the season, but they've just dropped a couple and they need to regain their composure, and a win over Melbourne United would be crucial. And Melbourne, they need to keep winning to give themselves some opportunity to get into the play-in tournament. Let's have a look at a same-game multi for this one. I like Melbourne to get it done. I like Ray-John Tucker. He's found his form. He's doing his thing. And Tajir McCall, 10 boards last week. I think he'll go under 5.5. Enjoy the game. The Snakes and Melbourne, and gamble responsibly.
You know the score. Stay in control. Gamble responsibly.
If you haven't seen Cairns this year, strap in.
Don't think for 1 minute this is an easy win. They're not going to die wondering.
Lee with the screen.
Oh!
There we go! Ray-John Tucker! Oh yes, this is pure entertainment brought to you courtesy of Ray-John Tucker.
Too big, too strong.
TJ Hogue is a bucket getter. Look how smooth he is.
No problems.
Oh my.
The CG43.
That's from the logo.
What a feed and what a finish. Golding the lead.
Good hands from Pinder.
Let's go. Stand by.
Welcome to John Cain Arena for one of the best spectacles in Australian sport. You see it right there. There's plenty of players in this game capable of blowing the roof off the venue, Leonard Copeland. But you know what? We'll make it a little easier. We'll throw it off ourselves. It is open air night at the NBL as Melbourne United take on the Cairns Taipans. United, a powerhouse of usual, but just struggling a little bit this year. But the Cairns Taipans, they've been the surprise packet this year. But tonight is sure to be a blockbuster worthy of the venue that it's going to be played in. Leonard Copeland, does it get much better than this?
Doesn't get any better than this. Full house. They open the roof for the venue, and both teams are playing ready to go at it.
Well, they're playing ready to go, and one of those teams is playing very fun basketball in the Cairns Taipans because they are led by Adam Ford, who preaches. He wants his players to have fun, enjoy what they're doing. So I love how they play. They're going to enjoy this atmosphere tonight, but is fun going to be enough to get them over the line and get them a little bit more back on track?
They're one of those helter-skelter teams. You don't know what you're going to get with them, but you know they're going to play hard. And that's a danger game for Melbourne United. Melbourne United have been on the roll lately. They're playing good basketball. But Cairns had a bad loss at home, so you got to be aware of the wounded dog.
Well, Cairns might have had a bad loss, but they've had a great season on the back of their MVP. Cairns, Keanu Pinder, that is averaging 18 points, 10 rebounds per game, having an unbelievable season so far. He's well and truly in the MVP conversation.
Absolutely, and they go as he goes. If he's playing well, they're playing well. They got to get him the ball early, get him going early, get him rebounding the ball, pushing that ball down the court. You know, being a role player, and being a great player and just being himself.
Well, the Taipans roll off the back of Keanu Pinder. A remarkable difference when he's on versus when he's off. If he's playing well, this team is rolling. He is the engine room of the beast that is the Cairns Taipans, and the proof is in the pudding. You can see it. You look at this here, MV Pinder. Cairns wins 21 points, losses 12.
Absolutely, and that's what Perth did last week. They did a very good job of taking him out of the game. They went right at him. Thomas was magnificent in this game offensively from the start. Got him in foul trouble, and Keanu was never the same player.
Well, that's the Cairns Taipans. Let's have a look at Melbourne United because their milestone man from last game, 401 games it is tonight. Chris Golding has found himself some form, and it's exactly what this United team has needed.
Absolutely. If you can get him 13 threes in a game, you're pretty much going to get a win because he'll get you going. And that's the first time this year he's had 13 threes in one game, and they got a big win.
Well, you've been preaching on it all year. Get this man more touches, averaging 4.5 three-pointers in his last 4 games. He's the guy that's needed to fire up.
Absolutely, man. He's the best player on the team. I mean, he's been doing it for years and years. I say it all the time. This guy had a 50-piece a couple of years back. Anybody that can score 50 points deserves to shoot that ball.
Well, the pressure's been on them on the offensive end, and it's not only Chris Goulding stepping up, it's their import superstar, Ray John Tucker, who came into this year with all the praise in the world, and we're starting to see what Melbourne expected to get out of him.
Absolutely. He put the pressure on himself by saying he was the best import. But now he's playing, he's relaxed, he's comfortable in his role, he's rebounding the ball well, he's playing defense, and he's an exciting player.
Well, you look at that, it's a dynamic duo where they're on. Chris Goulding, 18.8, 19.6 for Ray John Tucker. These two as the head of the monster. If they're on tonight, it's going to be a dangerous game for the Cairns Taipans. But I'll tell you what, it is time to throw it upstairs. The atmosphere is electric down here. Let's throw it upstairs.
Thank you very much, Felix. Great to be with you for Friday Night Hoops, and this is a momentous occasion as well. The first time in a couple of years that the roof has been open at John Cain Arena. Jack Heverin alongside Andrew Gaze and Liam Santamaria for this one. Let's take a look at the champion starting five for Melbourne United. Drewy?
Well, that's right. Now, Isaac Humphries, he's got big responsibilities in how he's going to deal with Keanu Pinder. And I like this balance, and this Melbourne United team has really settled down. They've won 3 out of their last 4. And they're playing some really good basketball.
And here is the champion starting five, Liam, for the Taipans.
Well, we spoke about Keanu Pinder looking to bounce back from that quiet one against Perth. Sam Wardenberg back into the lineup, missed the last couple of games with concussion.
The question is, does round 6 get mentioned? On that particular occasion, Cairns belted Melbourne 97-72, and at one stage led by 40. Melbourne were humiliated. Does it get raised ahead of tonight?
I think as far as the X's and O's, I think you park a lot of it because it was such a lopsided event, but there'll be certain aspects of it that I think the coaching staff would draw on. I think that they would really hit in on guys like Isaac Humphries in particular and the importance of what he needs to do on the defensive end. So there would be certain elements of it, but when you lose like that, sometimes you see it as an aberration and you just try to forget about it as quick as you can.
Here's Tucker trying to get his team going from the starts. And he was one of those, Liam, in round 6. He had 2 points on 1 of 4, had no say in the game whatsoever. But since that game, we've seen a much different Ray John Tucker.
Yeah, it was his quietest game of the season. That one in far north Queensland for Tucker. But you're right, he's playing really, really well. He didn't really light up the scoreboard in their last game. Just the 12 points, but had a season-high 5 assists, and you can see right there, he's in attack mode, playing with a whole bunch of confidence.
Well, the thing is everyone going to be in attack mode. You're up against a team in the Cairns Taipans. They shoot more threes than anyone else in the competition on average per game. But with the maybe a hint of wind sort of circulating around, maybe you just need to reevaluate that and put a little bit more heat on the rim, and I say that seriously.
I have no doubt Dean Vickerman, who's really experienced playing in these open-air games, will have impressed that upon his team. Let's have a little bit more attack on the rim today and maybe blaze away just a little less often.
Roof open at John Cain Arena. The foul on Tucker. So we have had a look at open-air games before, Liam, and you're the student of the game here. It does play a role, the open air and the open roof, in terms of shooting percentages?
The numbers are lower, for sure, across the board over the history of these games. Now, some players have managed to deal with it pretty well. Chris Goulding shot the ball pretty well in open-air games, but as a general rule, the field goal percentage numbers are a little bit lower when the roof is open.
So you're saying the wind can push the ball 6 to 8 inches. Is that what you're saying?
He's not saying it, it's fact. If there's wind, it's harder to shoot.
Goulding. Peatling trying to throw it inside, and Pinder looking to bounce back after a quiet performance on Tuesday. Couldn't go coast to coast. Now Peatling with his head down has Tucker all alone. Got it.
Well, I don't think it's any coincidence when you look at Melbourne United and their improvement over the last month. Mason Peatling has got a lot to do with it. He comes in, he's that X factor, and at both ends of the floor.
There's DJ Hogue finding his first bucket for the Taipans. Mason Peatling's had 22 rebounds in his last 55 minutes of play.
Well, he was absolutely outstanding in that win over Illawarra last time out. There's a turnover from Melbourne, but they're going to get it back. Pinder out of bounds. He had 19 points and 11 rebounds. Career high points, his second career double-double, and this push of the ball will really please Dean Vickerman. Grab it off the defensive glass, push it down that middle cylinder, and bang, finds the shooter on the arm.
All that on the Amy replay. Just getting the clock sorted out.
Guys, there's 10 on the shot clock. 10 on the
Officials
shot, okay?
tonight, Vaughan Mabry, Damien Lyons and Ruben Woolcock. Shea Hilly to inbound.
Mate, you grabbing him.
Back up top. He's got his head down and it's found a way to Peatling, and it's not how they drew it up, but they'll get free throws.
Well, we've seen Melbourne's theme in the short 2 minutes that we've just, almost 2 minutes we've played. They are relentless at trying to get it inside. Relentless at pounding it in. Now, certainly on that transition one, they stop and pop on the three, but in that half-court set, it's about how they can put some heat on the rim, and Adam Ford, he's seen enough already.
Staggering within 2 minutes.
Oh, no doubt. It's about containing the ball. The defense wasn't at the level it needed to be against Perth. And right here, Melbourne putting all kinds of heat, and they're picking up fouls. Keanu Pinder picked one up, Sam Wardenberg's picked one up, and they're sending Melbourne to the free throw line.
First time for a couple of years since we've had an open-air game. Melbourne United 6-2 across their 8 previous open-air games. And this is just a little snapshot of what tonight's going to look like, and has looked like for the fans in the house tonight.
It's such a magnificent sight. I mean, we talk about Australian sport. Let's talk about sport right across the globe. What a unique experience it is for the players, but more importantly for the fans. Such an incredible fan experience, Drew, when you're sitting in that stadium and that thing goes open.
No, it is. It's one that, as a player, I don't know how excited I'd be to play in it, because the little things, and sometimes it's more what goes on between your ears than anything. The mere fact is there, and sometimes the breeze is not blowing, but just a little bit here or there, and it can play as a shooter. It plays on your mind, and you start to think about it, and that's the part of the bigger challenge. Is what they get through is sometimes not the reality of whether there's a bit of breeze or not. It's what's going on through in your head.
Okay, Billy Hoyle. Think you can handle it?
No, mate, I'm telling you, it messes with you a little bit.
I can see some similarities, actually. People misses the first.
You called him a chump?
Same sort of dress sense, that's for sure.
I'm missing something.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I feel left out of a joke.
We'll bring some Gone with the Wind sort of references in at some point, shall we?
We'll let you know at quarter time.
Right.
United lead it by 3. I'm sure someone on Twitter will hit you up. Hashtag NBL23 to join us. The Pinder. That double comes straight away, which was a learning from Perth on Tuesday, and forces an error. Peatling again with the push. That time was out of control. It'll be an offensive foul.
Well, shooter's in the corner, Drewy. Yep. He found him the first time, but not the second.
Well, that's true. And there, we see a little bit more coverage there. Hogue is in the, I guess he was enough in the lane and just gets caught in the air. And that's good defense, good transition defense.
Jack, you spoke about the double team on Keanu Pinder. You're right. The Wildcats sent that double along the baseline. They stayed attached to Pinder all night long, and Melbourne following that blueprint here early.
Hogue inside for Pinder with the jam. And that was a bit of an awkward landing for Keanu Pinder.
Also, mate, was there a hint of a flop warning as well that was about to be on Tucker as well?
He looks a little bit sore as he's hobbling towards the bench. Let's get courtside to Leonard Copeland.
Yeah, 40 on the timeout was very mad about the 3 turnovers and the 2 fouls straight away. He said, we're not going to win this game if we continue to play like that. Let's get it done. Let's straighten it out straight away.
Well, as most coaches do, they tend to exaggerate. Our stats say there was only 2, but as when you're in those huddles, you've had 4 turnovers. No, yeah, but they don't know it.
You can run if you need to.
There you see the little, was it just a knee on knee?
Landed on the foot of Mason Peatling, and then knee and ankle both got themselves in an awkward angle. So Felix and Coates will be across that one. Early drama in the game for Cairns. Keanu Pinder not out there. And McCall checks in, guarding Tucker. Offensive rebound by Humphreys. He can't score. And here's Golding. And you know what happens next.
Well, that's part of what happens when Keanu Pinder goes off. Everyone in that front line moves up a spot. Sam Wardenberg at the 5, Hogue at the 4. Offensive rebound, and Chris Golding's ready to fire.
Game number 401 for Chris Golding. Nice pass inside. Scott for Wardenberg. Back into the team tonight.
Great off-the-ball movement didn't give up in the play, slashed into it and got rewarded for it. Both he and Hogue need to do a better job on the boards. Your main rebounding focus is not there. That last offensive rebound attempt by Melbourne United was almost unguarded. They're just bouncing around. They're going to need a lot more urgency, the Cairns Taipans, because those kick-out passes and trying to guard Golding out there, that's when he's at his most dangerous, or any shooters at their most dangerous on those kick-out passes off the O boards.
David Aquera also into the game for Melbourne United. Golding up top once more.
Boy.
Strikes twice.
Well, he's feeling it. Doesn't take long with Chris Golding. Whack, whack, couple of knockdown triples, and the Taipans are going to need to stay attached.
They've started fast, Melbourne. And here they come again. Golding for his third. Offensive foul called before that.
It's off the ball, well off the ball. Isaac Humphries just running through. And have a look at Isaac Humphries, and just, I guess you have to call it on the basis that it denied the defender the chance. Like, he's in Qual's in a range to go out and close out on that three ball. Now, I think it was well constructed by Qual to bring about that foul, but you can understand his challenge. He's got no chance of winning this coach's challenge.
This is ambitious.
Let's talk about it. Because usually on these ones, you see that the defensive player is standing still. They stop and prop and they stand still, and the offensive player in transition runs them over.
Yeah.
Whereas here, Bull Qual's moving, and it almost looks like he ducks in front of
but it wasn't
Isaac Humphries.
That's true, but it's not in a screening situation. They're just running, and one guy just runs over the other guy. I don't know whether... See, he's just... Oh, actually, you might be right after seeing that replay. You may be right, because he was actually trying to take the charge.
He thought, I'm in trouble here. Golding's about to catch that thing and toe the arc, and I'm going to duck in front of the big fella.
Yeah.
Look at Chris Golding. This is called hunting a shot. Look at him come across in transition, go straight to the ball. Meanwhile, bang. I like this challenge from Dean Vickerman.
I also like Aquera there. He knew he's got his guys just knocked down a couple of threes. He waits for him, times it perfectly. Chris Golding with a turnaround as well. He's got all Steph Curry on us. He had made two. He hasn't made 7,000.
Hold on, big fella. He had heard the whistle.
Oh, okay.
I am, yeah. Yep.
I think he just had a little bit of swagger about it.
This is a long discussion going on in the replay centre. We'll check in with Scott Butler as soon as we get a verdict.
I'm not with you. He might have heard the whistle. I think he was doing it anyway. I think he just went,
he was feeling it.
Steph Curry on us. The challenge is successful.
There's Dean Vickerman getting the explanation. The challenge and the call will be overturned. Let's get into the replay centre. Referee's boss, Scott Butler, take us through this one, Scott.
So, Jack, when you review the play, the key to it is looking at the defensive position of the Cairns player. It's not clear that he's in front of Humphries as he's coming down the floor, and he's late to the spot. So based on that, he hasn't established legal guarding position. So it's not an offensive foul. So we overturn the call, and on the challenge play, because the basket went in, we restart the game with Cairns from the end line.
Fantastic, great explanation. Thank you, Scott.
Great to get that explanation. Ford looks like he thinks he's at the Coliseum. He's giving the thumbs up, thumbs down.
Well, 3 for 3 now. Yeah, Chris Golding. This is ominous signs here for the Cairns Taipans. They need to focus in a little tighter.
Hogue. There's plenty of room for him. Marcus Lee into the game and drags a rebound in straight away. Xavier Rattan-Mays also in. Melbourne are cooking early on. My word, they're cooking!
Great find. Those two have a very nice chemistry. Rattan-Mays and Lee both come into the game, and bam, big fellas above the rim.
That's a double-digit lead for Melbourne United. The swift hands from Rattan-Mays. They charge forward again. Golding. Not that far away.
Well, this pace of play of which Melbourne United are playing at is really causing the Cairns Taipans some problems. That's a beautiful pass. Thread the needle. And good little 2-on-2 game on ball. Hit the roller.
And scored the last 8, Melbourne. That just slows things down a little bit. Quera off the pick and roll. Tipped in by Lee.
No block out. Really good wall up from DJ Hogue to contest that shot. On the weak side, the Taipans fast asleep.
Call might have got away with the travel. In fact, didn't get away with the travel. And Sam Wardenberg checks out. Keanu Pinder off the court at the moment. And it's opening up some avenues inside like this.
That is good connection. And this is Lee's strength. He can play above the rim. He's really good when he's driving and rolling to the rim. And with that length, and you see the reach he's got, just when he gets behind the defense, he's got to throw it up there high enough and he'll go get it.
7'3" wingspan, Marcus Lee. And he's got a mismatch here. Keanu Pinder checking back in is good news. And Lee couldn't exploit that mismatch. Pinder got ahead. And Jerich found him.
Just leaked out after contesting the Chris Goulding three-point attempt and able to finish ahead of the pack.
And that's the good news, that Keanu Pinder back into the game. Quera hands off to Tucker. He spins inside and scores.
It's quick and it's athletic. Little drop step, and one of the players that aren't able to elevate. There's Chris Goulding just shooting it from out of space. And you see how he leaked out. So it wasn't a traditional, good old-fashioned basket hanging. It was closing out and continuing on. And there's that spin move I talk about. And it's one thing to have the spin. It's another thing to have the elevation at the end of it. And that's what Tucker can do. And he is a strong athlete who, after an indifferent start to his NBL career, has really settled in and become a very good player.
Another costly turnover for Cairns. Goulding for Tucker. That one just couldn't quite reel it in. Goulding relocates. He misses everything. Marcus Lee's fighting off 3 of them. Melbourne get the ball back and Tucker makes a mess of it. And McCall downhill at the other end. Lays it up for the Taipans. Big bucket.
Oh boy, really big bucket, because they were up against it. That's 5 turnovers now for the Snakes in this first quarter, and they've given up 5 offensive rebounds. Cause for frustration for Adam Ford, but it worked out well right there.
Rutan Mace ran out of options. And that pass was risky at best. Jerich, he's got a shooter on the wing. It's Qual. And that's no good. And Mirko Jerich and Chris Goulding have reacquainted themselves.
Well, I think that's because of the hot start. Mirko Jerich hasn't been playing a whole lot. He's had a number of injuries to deal with. As we take a look at this rebounding contest. Oh, dear.
Goulding needs to come back in. Goulding needs to come back in.
It looked like Chris was more the instigator on that one, but he actually got away with it.
They both threw themselves back.
And I think they're going to challenge it.
With so much ferocity that it was hard to tell.
But it was the initial hooking in of Chris Goulding, which I think is going to hurt him on this review, but we'll wait and see. And of course, Jerich, who really did an incredible job when these two teams met earlier on in the season. He was all up in Chris Goulding the entire evening.
Drewy.
I was really interested to see how you were going to word that.
No, I was just saying he was wearing him and really caused him some problems. See, there's the hook. I don't know.
I like this from Adam Ford. That was clearly Chris Goulding that had, as you say, Drewy, tangled up Mirko Jerich. Now, Mirko responded a little bit, and then both of them looked like fall back with
he hooked his
all
arm
kinds of drama.
Fell back. I think this challenge is going to be successful, which is not a good sign for the Cairns Taipans at all. There's the hook. I don't know how you could. They just sort of fell over.
The issue is, for Adam Ford potentially here, is The refs missed the call on Chris Golding, and they got the one on Mirko Jeric.
But there was none on Mirko. What did Mirko do?
That pull right there.
Chris lifts his arm and pushes him down, isn't he?
Oh, it's when they fling and flop around like that, it makes it very hard to tell. But I agree that it was initiated by Chris tangling him up.
I'm not sure what Mirko, what was the foul call on him for? Push.
Mirko flinging his arm back and sending Chris to the floor.
Pressure challenge is unsuccessful.
You're right. I bow to you, Liam.
Poor old Cairns. They thought they were going so well with the review, and then Drewy said it'd be successful. And
Who's leaving? Stay there. Still 2.
Melbourne United leading by 8. They've come out firing in this first quarter.
Well, they're doing what Perth did the other night. Chris Golding knocks down the triple. They're doing 3 things that Perth did here. They're forcing some turnovers. They're grabbing offensive rebounds. So they're out working and out hustling Melbourne United. And they're knocking down shots, 4 of 8 from long range. So far the game plan working to perfection for the home team.
That leads back out to 10. Chris Golding checks out with 11 points. Cairns have got 12 as a team. 3 of 6 from the field. And the Taipans, who are a notoriously slow starting team when it comes to scoring points in first quarter. They're lowest in the league for first quarter points.
Well, they're shooting well. 6 of 11 is the turnovers that are killing them. 5 turnovers already in the contest.
Shannon Scott, unsuccessful. That's Pinder hustling after that offensive rebound. It's a little clunky right now. McCall for 3. Melbourne will happily live with that.
Well, it's clunky for a reason. The reason is the Melbourne United are playing some defense. They're up and in, they're contesting the pass, they're really putting a lot of ball pressure to not allow that easy ball movement by the Cairns Taipans. So full credit to Melbourne United and the way they're handling this one so far.
5 of 28 for the season from outside. Tajir McCall. Shot clock at 5. Ratan May steps back on Pinder. He's off the front of the iron. Majuk Deng with the rebound.
Both swimming. Arms forward.
Jeric out for Deng. That's a nice hit.
Needed that. The Taipans, toe on the line. I think only counts for 2. But just something to feel good about at the offensive end because it's been a little dry.
Newley drives. Marcus Lee. Right place, right time again. He's got 6 points in 4.5 minutes.
And Melbourne United, they've got six offensive boards already.
Ooh, and that's most certainly going to be a foul. Shayley getting his money's worth.
He's playing the ball right at that point in play.
Unsportsmanlike.
There's a look at what's going on right in the heart of Melbourne right now.
Yeah, beautiful.
I know, but then Illy.
It's a tough one for Shea Illy. Got airborne off the shot fake here. Shot fake, he's up, and then he just comes down on the ball. Isn't it, Drew?
That's a foul. There's
Foul.
no doubt about
Yeah, no doubt it's
And
foul.
what it is, he's trying to protect himself because
Yeah.
he knows his leg's coming out underneath him. So it's inadvertent, it's unfortunate, but technically, as far as I understand the rules, I think that it's the right call.
You can win your way to LA. You can party with Shaq. Scan the QR code, or if you want to do it the old-fashioned way, you can enter online as well. Flights, accommodation, the whole works, all taken care of.
Fantastic.
Side out.
Courtesy of our great mates at Reebok.
Okay, here we go.
I wonder how much time you're going to spend with Shaq. Is it a little one-on-one type? Or you're sure big party atmosphere type?
Not sure. You can go out with him
on
if
the
you
decks.
Either way.
Diesel on the decks.
Sounds like fun.
McCall blocked. Marcus Lee puts him into the third row.
Well, he's one of the leading shot blockers in the league. Second in blocks, Marcus Lee, 1.5 per game. We've got the top 3 shot blockers in this game. Yep. Lee, Humphries, and DJ Hogue, and he sent that one into the front row.
Pinder underneath. Taipans have cut this back to 6, and it was as high as 10. So we roll down to the last minute of this first quarter. The open-air game at John Cain Arena. And Illy. Lee misses that one. He thought he was held.
With his length, sometimes when you're out of position like that, better off just catching it and coming down with it than going back up.
Not sure that was the shot that Adam Ford was looking for, judging from his body language there. Illy. He's no good either. Marcus Lee hanging around the basket has 8.
Well, there's genuine issues on the glass. You've got 11 boards, 7 of them coming on the offensive end.
Jerry travels.
My goodness, between the turnovers and the offensive rebounds. You mentioned the 7 offensive rebounds for Melbourne. That's to 7 defensive rebounds for the Taipans. So they're grabbing 50% of available boards, Melbourne United. So they're not blocking out, and they don't have the energy in that area of the game, the Taipans, and then not looking after the pill at all. 6 turnovers. So they're losing the possession game big time here in the first quarter.
And it was a massive problem for them on Tuesday. 17 turnovers in that game against Perth. First quarter, all of those demons from 3 days ago are coming back.
Just got himself in a little tangle there. He had Peatling early, needed the kick out, and then left his feet shayly, and turnover United.
Foul to give here, Melbourne United.
Last play of the first quarter. Shannon Scott decides to go himself at the buzzer. The Taipans have got it back to 5. Oh, this has been fun so far. 26-21 at John Cain Arena. You're watching Friday Night Hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
Welcome back. It's a 5-point lead for Melbourne United. I'm lucky enough to be joined by 2 legends of the game, Dave Anderson and Cecil Exum. Now, Dave Anderson, you're running the NBL alumni program. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, it's part of my special role in the NBL now is to bring all the old guys back around the game, or past players, I should say. So We got a great bunch of 45 guys up there watching the game. Our first ever alumni event, and it's been a great hit.
Well, the dangerous thing for NBL Finance Department is that it's an open bar and there was only one man that was still in good enough condition to get down here, Cecil Exum. I've heard that you were saying up there that with the bionic knees you've had installed, you still reckon that you could give these guys a run. Is that true?
I really do. At 60, I think I can.
Now, Geelong Supercats back in the day, is that a team with NBL expansion? Would you want to see them back in this league?
They should be. We got the money down there as well. They should bring it out and buy a team. Get back in the league.
There's money in Geelong, apparently. Let's throw it back upstairs to the boys.
Nicely done, Felix. Great to see Cecil Exum as well.
Yes.
Dave Anderson could still play in this league. Have a look at him.
He's looking sharp.
Always looks sharp. And I tell you, the Taipans look sharp. Last couple of possessions, finished the quarter with a triple and then opened it with another. Sam Wardenberg knocks it down from long range.
Well, all the numbers say that Melbourne United should have a far bigger margin than what they do right now. But such is the grit of the Cairns Taipans, and that's going to be a foul. Scott just landing into the space of Shea Illy.
Push. 3 shots. Slide it up.
3 free throws coming for Illy with a second left on the shot clock.
See, he jumps forward right in his landing space.
Foul on Shannon Scott, his first. Shea Illy. A lot of discussion around Shea Illy and what he means to this team. And I think
Technical foul, gold coach, 1 shot.
I think Adam Ford might have crossed the line
We've got 1 shot
early in the second quarter.
Are you going to take all 4? Are you going to take this first one?
I'm not sure what 40 would have been complaining about. That was a pretty clear-cut foul. And there might have been some off-the-ball action that he didn't like.
Demonstrative yelling and pointing at the official is the word we're getting.
Holding just pushes Shea Illy aside, says, I'll take this one.
As he should.
There's Adam Ford. So back to Shea Illy that we were talking about.
3.
Only 7 games for the season due to ongoing issues with concussion, which have been really challenging for him. Melbourne are 5-2 when Shea Illy plays. That can't be denied.
Cannot be denied. Super important for this team. He's an elite player. He's one of the best, if not the best, on-ball defenders in the competition. And he, along with Marcus Lee in the front line, having those guys in uniform, having those guys in uniform brings balance and depth to this lineup. Now you can bring Xavier Rattan-Mays off the bench. Now you've got the 2 centers in Humphreys and the import. So that's what having those guys back means, and Illy a massive, massive part of that.
And he's such a good reader of the game and organiser, and knows when to push, when to perhaps slow it down. And I think the other guys that they try in that point guard spot, I think they really lack depth in that position. And when he's not there, it really does exaggerate Melbourne United's problems.
Pin the head down to the basket, draws a foul on Humphries.
That's where he's so tough. Keanu Pinder, catch it there on the elbow. And when he turns and faces up, centres around the league are having a really tough time handling him. Makes quick, explosive moves, and that gets himself to the free throw line.
What I think the Perth Wildcats did when you saw Keanu have some challenges a couple of nights ago, it wasn't just how they guard him when he gets the ball, it's what they were doing before he even caught the ball. In the lanes, really pushing him a little bit beyond and then packing it in, building a wall behind it so he doesn't even see those driving lanes, and it really cut off a lot of his supply. And have a look at this. This is just a thing of beauty. When you think of packed house, elite level basketball, just shots that'll be beamed around the world.
Sure will be. I was hoping we might get Felix on the roof tonight, but he must be scared of heights.
Is it too late?
Never too late.
Of course, the roof's not there. Makes it difficult.
Hey, you're right on the line. Hey, front front.
It looked like Scott hit that out of Chris Golding's hand, so right here. And then where does Chris catch it before? Ah, yes, there you see the problem. He hadn't gone into the backcourt. He was still in the front court, wasn't he?
Okay.
If his foot's on the line, though, what I would have thought, was it just before line? Ah. Eyesight's not as good as it once was.
It can happen. Tucker. 7 points. Takes it straight at Pinder. And that is something else that Perth were able to do. And Coates pointed this out pre-game. They were able to take it at Pinder early and force fouls.
Make him play some Ds. This time there, it's really not his fault. And he's...
Lateral.
Gee, he didn't do a lot wrong.
Didn't do much wrong at all.
Sure what more he could have done.
That's a tough call. I'm not sure it was an offensive foul, but an easy no call there for mine.
Yeah.
Now he checks out of the game. The MVP candidate, whom they missed for a big chunk in the first half. Got the blood rule situation, but he's also got the 2 personals. Sorry, the first quarter.
Yeah, when the offense just goes flying into the defender. And it looked like he had a pretty sound guarding position. So
2 shots, guys. 2.
Tucker gets the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Tucker on the line. I'm told reliably that Rajon Tucker's mum has jetted in for Christmas. He's in the house tonight at John Cain Arena. He's going to Kudos Bank on Christmas night. And at the Blitz, we had the chance to sit down and speak to Rajon Tucker, and he said, when my mum gets here, look out, because I've been told for years that when she's in the stands, I go to another level.
Nice. Is that right? Okay. Well, he's got a fair bit of bounce, so if he does go to that next level, we could be in for a highlight or 2.
Hogue from long range. Here's Tucker. Get the rebound, how quickly he gets beyond halfway. Isolates Majuk Deng. Here he goes.
That's a heads-up play from Rajon Tucker. Constantly having to make decisions about whether to shoot or whether to drive, Tucker, because he's being gapped by the defender. Look at Majuk Deng steps off, invites the 3, bang, give and go. And he's off to the free throw line.
Textbook give and go. Saw that his player had left the feet. The pass, instantly as soon as he passed it, cuts to the basket, and a really good return pass. Good heads up by Peatling to get it straight back to him.
We chatted with Dean Vickman pre-season about Rajon Tucker and how he was going to have to work things out in the NBL with the way he was going to be defended. It was interesting. He brought up the great Sydney King, Dwayne McLean. Ooh. And he said, I'd like to see him just... I wouldn't be surprised if he's spoken to Tucker about Dwayne McLean over the course of the season, saying maybe you just use the dribble to take up the space between you and the defender. And he's been working his way through all of that throughout the season. And as you said earlier, Jack, really coming into his own late in the year.
Qual lost the handle. It's turnover number 7 for Cairns. Golding takes an extra step.
You guys did the same thing earlier.
33-26 at John Cain Arena. Tomorrow night, Christmas Eve, the Adelaide 36ers will play host to South East Melbourne, and we expect that Sydney Kings championship winner Ian Clark will line up for the 36ers tomorrow night.
And unfortunately, some injury issues with Phoenix as well, which really important game. Look at Shea Ely in the lanes. Read that like a cheap novel.
Humphries backs in on Wardenberg. That's nice. His first points of the night.
It's all a little too easy from time to time on that defensive end. Just able to get Melbourne United, able to get to their spots, out hustling them on the boards.
And now an offensive foul.
Offensive push.
Adam Ford will not be happy with what he's seeing. Let's get down to Copes, courtside.
Yeah, fellas. Kiana Pinder just went in the back with Doc Garnham. And Doc Garnham's the doctor for Melbourne United, so I don't know what's going on there, but I'll try to find out.
That's interesting. He had the cut lip. And so it might be a matter of not being able to patch that up effectively. Doc Garnham to the rescue.
Tucker. Hogue staying in front, did well, but Tucker spun past, but Melbourne couldn't get an effective shot away in time.
And that's, have a look at the MCG across the road. There's, gee, I'll tell you what, our little drone is doing some work tonight, isn't it?
That's not a little drone, my friend.
That's a big chopper type drone.
That's the big mama right there.
That's,
yes, sir.
They're the images that you want to see. Beautiful city. Two really good teams going at it. And there's another turnover for Melbourne United, who they've been pretty generous as well. Now they're up to 6 turnovers.
That's what Adam Ford want to see. This is the best team in the league, the Taipans, over the course of the season at forcing turnovers, at being disruptive, getting up in the lanes and using their length and athleticism. So Shannon Scott getting up. They didn't do that well against Perth. Their energy wasn't quite there at the defensive end. So that's who they need to be, the Taipans. Get up and in the lanes and force mistakes.
Golding, the game's leading scorer with 12. Tucker trying to get inside, gave up a good look.
Oh.
And they reset with Shannon Scott, top of the key.
Poor spacing.
Clock's at 5, Scott with room. He's off the back of the iron. 10 of 25 for the game, the Taipans. Melbourne 10 of 23. Both teams shooting low 40%. And Tucker fills it up.
Well, he turned down the 3-ball. Last couple of catches, Rajon Tucker, and he got himself into trouble. So good response there, an adjustment to let that thing fly.
A game-high 12-point lead for Melbourne United. Here's Tucker in motion. Back-to-back threes. It's a 15-point game at John Cain Arena.
And this is where Cairns, that was a poor shot selection by Tajir McCall the last time down the floor. That's more like it. Doing what he does best and at least trying to create something to the rim. He's only shooting it at 18% from the 3-point line. And sure, coming down when you're trailing by double digits, blazing away from the 3-point line. Another turnover. Here's Tucker. That's just lack of effort there, Hogue. Did you see Hogue on that one? This guy's just made a 3. That's a little bit better, that closeout right there. But that other one where he's a little gets action.
Sunset belongs on a postcard, that. Taipans off the back of a 3-day break and a bit sluggish in this first half. That's important from Majuk Deng. And that's enough for Dean Vickerman just to want to have a chat about things and snuff out any momentum the Taipans are building.
Good timeout from Dean Vickerman. Excellent execution from the Taipans. The pin down there from DJ Hogue. And that's a dangerous shooter, Majuk Deng. And he's wide open at the top of the arc.
41-31, 4:17 before halftime. Let's get down to Felix von Hoff.
Jack, if you are looking for the happiest woman in the building, it is Tawana right next to me as her son, Rajon Tucker, just smacked 2 triples in a row. How proud are you?
Oh, it's just awesome to be here and to know that he's doing the things he's doing, getting opportunity. It is great. It's great.
I hear you from the back row, Melbourne United.
I know you
Get
did.
you down. And Tevin, how proud are you of your brother and how amazing is this atmosphere?
Hey, I love it here. I love my brother, and we going crazy.
And hold up, we're going crazy. Zoom out a little bit. Let's have a look at the shoes here. We got watches on the shoes. I'm not sure whether this is a New York thing or whatever, but I'll tell you, man, it ain't going to catch on here.
Hey, I love it.
Was that your idea?
Just a little bit,
And Christmas, you're finally back here with the family. What are your plans on Christmas Day? Are we heading to Sydney?
I really don't. Yes, we are going to Sydney. I really don't know what's going on. I'm just here, but I am definitely enjoying the love, the atmosphere. It's so much bigger here than it is on the TV. So I thank you guys so much. I don't know what else to say.
We absolutely love having you, and I'll tell you what, Tevin, you're just about to head to college. I've been to college, so we're going to have a good night out in Sydney if you're coming as well, all right?
right, let's do it.
Bang, let's get in some trouble. Let's throw back upstairs to the boys.
My goodness gracious me.
That poor kid.
That poor kid.
Don't do it.
No. Don't do it, Tevin, otherwise you'll end up like that. What about the watches on the shoes?
Watches.
Nice.
Okay.
I've never seen that.
Is that the next level for the Gazies?
I'm not sure that fits within our range, but who knows?
You don't think you could slide a timepiece onto the kicks?
Maybe.
I'm still trying to work out why it's there, to be honest. But, it's great to have Rajon Tucker's family here from America. He's, as we mentioned before, he's spoken so much about how tight the three of them are. He's playing good basketball. Newly, straight into the game.
Great point guard play. Xavier Atamaz. Penetrate and pitch. Open shooter in the corner. And Newley knocks it down.
Game number 301 for Brad Newley. Part of the celebrations last Sunday. Melbourne's big win over Illawarra.
Good D by Lee. That time when he's guarding the ball, just got a little bit too much contact as he tried to front the low post. But, gee, I like the way he moved his feet and kept Majuk Deng in front of him. Took away the penetration.
Melbourne's second foul of the quarter. Next one from Cairns will result in free throws to United. Eight wins and 11 losses for the season, Melbourne. Cairns at 10-6 as Ratan Mays understood the situation and gets himself to the free throw line.
Yeah, the Taipans over the limit, so he's got his head down and attacking. Here is the drone doing its beautiful work. There's Amy Park right across the road from John Cain Arena, and the game there, the far right of your screen. What a beautiful spot that is in Melbourne. The sunset in the background.
You see that one behind Amy Park? That's called the Glass House. That's where we used to play back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's now the home of the Collingwood Football Club. But I'm not sure there's a better sporting precinct anywhere in the world than what we see at Melbourne Park.
Preach. Tell the people.
All the sports covered. And all spectacular venues.
And all spectacular competitions like this one. The Latrobe Financial Legends. Guaranteed $50,000 will go off. Courtesy of Latrobe. Ben Eyre coming into the game for Cairns. Try and give them a spark. 3 of 12 now, I should say. From deep tonight, the Taipans. Shot clock rolls back to single figures. That pass intended for Golding. Chopped off, and then McCall fouled by Newley.
Good foul. It's the third team foul, so no free throws for the Taipans. Speaking of free throws, the Taipans, third in the league in free throw attempts, but they did not get there to the stripe against the Wildcats, and it hurt them. And tonight, just 4 free throw attempts thus far to Melbourne United 17. Meanwhile, Drury blazing away from long range as per usual.
Well, that's right, and that's how they play. They're averaging a little over 30 attempts a game. They only had the 12, so perhaps, well, they're pretty much on target as Hope just steps in for the mid-range. There's another one when you're thinking about how we've got to find ways to, Taipans find ways to get that scoreboard ticking over. He's one that he's only got the 4 points, 2 of 6 from the field.
Here's Tucker. That one has a look and jumps out. And only 4 points, DJ Hogue, on 2 of 6. Averaging a little under 17 for the season. That's more like it.
Bang. Way to talk it into existence, Jack. And a really good front from Tajir McCall. Hogue hits the mid-range jumper. And then look here. McCall knows his shooter is trailing. Hands it off, gets in the way of Shayeli. Bam! 3-point hit in transition. Timeout, Melbourne United.
They've got it back to 9, DJ Hogue, and there's Rajon Tucker, who's the game's leading scorer with 16. He spoke earlier this week on Annalie Maley's new podcast, and it is absolutely sensational, this podcast as well, and spoke about how things are starting to come together here at Melbourne United.
Was there a moment where you felt like things are actually starting to align, and I've been working my ass off for so long, and here's my moment, this is my opportunity? Can you remember a certain time where that might have been something for you?
No,
Yeah.
Honestly, if we're being like really honest, we go through life and like we're such a now generation where we want everything now. Everything has to be now when I want it. Like I feel like I need this now. And sometimes you might not necessarily be ready for the opportunities that you seek. I think like now just being here and having those opportunities to grow and getting the pub that I'm getting out here and the love that I'm getting out here, it's just like, okay, like I'm figuring it out like night in and night out. Like good shooting day, get in the gym, go shoot, get your reps. Bad shooting day, get in the gym. Like the consistency is how you get your opportunities and things start to pan out. So like right now I can kind of see like, okay, this is where I'm at, this is what I got to do. So yeah, I think here's where I kind of found myself for real in basketball.
There's Rajon Tucker talking on Under the Surface with Annalie Maley. Well worth a listen, that one.
Well, he's certainly settled in. I think he's really playing his best basketball the last month or so. And I don't think there's any coincidence that a lot of that, I think, has to do with Shea Ili coming back into the lineup as well.
Mitchell Deng, that's plenty of room for him to let it go, but that misses. Taipans have got this game back inside single figures. The lead was as much as 15 a couple of minutes ago. Tucker out for Peatling. And Marcus Lee, a problem for Cairns once more. Just doing whatever he wants out there.
Well, Hull Globetrotters there for a moment. The ref's doing the right thing. They've got to wipe up the sweat. Another offensive rebound. Only the first, though, for Melbourne in this quarter. They've done a much better job, Cairns, on the defensive glass. And a positive sight down the other end. I'm sure I saw Keanu Pinder reappear at the end of the Taipans bench. There he is right there. They've really missed him this quarter, the big fella.
Thanks, guys.
There's Keanu Pinder. Had a cut on the lip that has been fixed up. He looks like he's not too far away from getting back out there.
Here we go. And one. And two.
Minute 17 remaining in the half. Tucker with 3 on the clock. Drives and scores.
That was just a little too easy. Started at the three-point line with 3 seconds to go and almost uncontested at the rim.
Extra pass from Deng. Ben Air couldn't capitalise. Tucker with 18 points, 5 rebounds, plus 10. His time on the floor in the opening half. Golding doubled up. Peatling, an extra pass inside was battered down. Deng in transition. He misses.
Well, you probably think of it a 2-for-1, but it's only going to give him only a 3 or 4 second difference between game clock and the shot clock.
Shea Ili winds that down. 4 on the clock. Lee from long range. That's not what they would have been looking for. McCall has got time to get this away. Got it! At the halftime buzzer, Tajir McCall launches.
Beautifully done. The push, he used every single second he could there of the clock, had really good awareness, and then got that thing in stride, knocked it down, and cut the margin to 8 on the buzzer.
Let's get down to Copes, courtside.
Well, John, you look like you're having a lot of fun out there. You seem to have found your feet in the last month. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, for sure. Coaches give me a lot of confidence. My teammates been getting the reps in. So, yeah, just found my pace, my rhythm, and learning the game out here.
What do you guys need to do to get this win?
Continue to get stops. I feel like we're doing a great job getting the shots that we want on offense, but keeping them off the boards and playing solid defense without fouling is going to get us this win tonight.
Now, your mom and your brother are in town. How happy are you with that?
Oh, man, I'm super excited. This is the first Christmas I done had with them since I was about 17, so anytime they step in the building, I got to show out.
Good luck in the second half. Thanks,
He most certainly is, Rajon Tucker. He's got 18 points, and as we head to halftime ahead of the Christmas Day game, here's Melbourne United with a bit of crisscross crinkle.
KK, Chris Kringle. Barlow. Damn, I'm flat I'm in there. I know the boys are going to roast me.
Grandpa Barlow?
No jokes about age.
Getting Gramps a new hit. Nah, I'm joking.
Probably pay for someone to come stretch his muscles for him. He seems to be doing it too much.
Barlow will want crypto. And buy him some crypto and he'll hold it.
He only switches between 2 pairs of sneakers, so Barlow needs a brand new pair of all white Forces that he can look fresh in.
I'll give Barlow a sense of humor. That's what I give Barlow. Barlow's like the most serious person I've ever met in my life.
Hey, just want to say Merry Christmas to the Cairns Taipans fans. I hope y'all enjoy your Christmas.
Merry Christmas to my family and Merry Christmas to the Orange Army.
Happy holidays, Orange Army, and Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays and a Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays to the entire NBL family and especially the Orange Army up in Cairns. Be well, be safe, look after each other.
Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to the Taipan Nation.
Well, happy holidays to everyone out there. It is going off at John Cain Arena, the open air game. Melbourne United just lead this one by a slim 8 points. And I'll tell you what, Leonard Copeland, the Cairns Taipans, like the last time they played, will not surrender.
They never will. They play hard. They've had a lot of turnovers in that first quarter, but they continue to play good defense and get themselves back in this game.
Boring defense, boring. Let's talk about offense, and the man that's bringing it is Ray John Tucker. His mom, brother, and cousin 2,000 are in the crowd, and he is putting on a show.
He said he's excited. He said, whenever I see my mom, she tells me to go to work, and he's shooting the ball well. Over the last month, he's been really good for Melbourne United, and Dane Bickerman's using him a lot more.
Well, the two guys that have stepped up over the last 4 games has been Rajon Tucker and the milestone man. 401 games tonight. Chris Goulding putting on a show for this crowd. Cometh the moment, cometh the man. We've come to expect it at this point.
We've talked about it already. When you get Chris Goulding the ball, he makes a couple, he starts dancing, looking in the crowd. You know the Melbourne United are winning. And I think you just got to continue to run that ball through him offensively, and you'll be fine.
Well, Anand, I very rarely see you get angry, but the frustration on your face at the beginning of this season, when they weren't giving Chris Goulding the ball, it was palpable.
It's almost like when I played with Andrew Days. He never wanted to give me that ball, you understand? So I know what a shooter can do, and I know what a scorer can do. Get him the ball, let him lead you to a championship.
Well, if you're shooting at 50% and shooting at 45%, you're going to get plenty of the ball. But we saw the buzzer beater at half-time there from Tajiri McCall. The Cairns Taipans, the last time they're in this building, down 14, fought their way back. We're starting to see a little bit of that free play that Adam Ford allows this team to play with is paying dividends to some respect.
And that's what they do. My only problem is Pinder has only had 4 shots in this game. You got to get him the ball, because when you get him the ball and he's playing well, then Cairns are playing well.
Well, the issue with Keanu Pinder is, of course, went down early with an ankle, and when we saw on the sideline, it was heavily strapped before the game, but he went down on it again. Appears to look a lot worse than what it was, because he was moving around on the bench.
He was. Look, went down on that ankle, got it taped again, came back out and played, and then got hit in the lip, had to go in the back with Doc Garnham and get that lip stitched up. But I still think he's ready to go now.
Hit in the lip, Leonard. We got a whole skybox full of old school NBL players, and someone came off with a hurt lip.
Hey, look, man, let me tell you something. This team this year, a little bit different than when we played back then.
Well, we highlighted pre-game. If you want to stop the Cairns Taipans, you need to stop the MVP contender in Keanu Pinder. And right now, 8 points, shooting pretty well from the floor, but are we going to say injury is limiting him or Melbourne United's defense?
I think a little bit of both. You got to get him the ball if you want to win.
Well, I'll tell you what, Keanu Pinder might be on his way to an MVP this year, but you could be on your way to $50,000. All thanks to Latrobe Financial Legends. Head over to nbl.com.au/legends. Have a look at some of these half-court shots. Submit your own, and you could be right here shooting for $50,000. What are you going to do with $50,000 in our Copeland?
I'd probably go buy a new car. Now I might buy a suit so I can look as good as you.
Oh, God, if I had $50,000, Chapel Street economy would be absolutely flying. We're going to be back with the second half of this blockbuster soon.
I want to just give a big Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to my family and all the United family that I have.
Just want to wish everyone a Happy New Year. I hope, the next year coming is better than the last year.
Merry Christmas, Melbourne United fans. Enjoy Christmas hoops. Wishing you a Merry Christmas to all the Melbourne United and NBL fans out there. Have a ripping day.
And a very Merry Christmas to all of the NBL family watching tonight around the world. It is 47-39. United leading Cairns Taipans in the open-air game at John Cain Arena. Just about a sellout. Doesn't that look absolutely fantastic? I just had a quick scroll on Instagram at halftime, and everyone is at this game tonight, which is fantastic. We've got players, we've got other athletes, men and women from other codes who are in the house. And then, of course, we have our man, Corey Homicide Williams.
You sure? Could be. Isn't that Corey Hart? Isn't he with the one that wore his sunglasses at night?
That's the up front crew. Shout out Corey and Nick Madalinos, their podcast up front.
Oh, okay.
Chewing gum's copping a hiding.
The lights are bright.
Really chomping down on that
The stars
PK.
are shining bright from above. Beautiful image coming in. It's part of the beauty of the open-air game when it changes from day to night over the course.
That's Cam Luke. Apparently, it's like the dentist that they never show his face.
Yes.
It's probably good for the broadcast to not show his face either, actually. I think that's his best angle right there.
Good work, see Luke. Hashtag NBL overtime to get involved.
He gave old mate a little handshake. No love whatsoever.
Nah. Just, who dis? The second half underway. It's been the Tucker and Golding show. Tucker has 18, Golding has 12. And that's where they start this third term. Offensive rebound by Illy. He steps back. What needs to change for Cairns in this third quarter?
Well, they need to clean up the defensive glass. They did that better in the second quarter, give up an offensive rebound there on that opening possession. They need to get going offensively. Try to open the game up, get Keanu Pender involved, and start ticking the scoreboard over. Just 39 points in that opening couple of quarters.
Late clock for the Taipans. It has to be Shannon Scott. That's not going to count. It doesn't fall anyway. Just on Keanu Pender, we spoke about this morning on NBL Today with Adam Gibson, Drewy, that now teams are going to school on Keanu Pender. They're putting the work in. There's a genuine scout for him. How does he get past that? How does he find his way through that?
Well, I think it comes down to how he incorporates what he's doing as well as his own individual skills, as how it is your system to create opportunities for him. And by and large, I think the Cairns Taipans do a good job. And that was really well executed by Melbourne United, but Keanu's got to find his way. The reason he's been able to be so successful is that they've simplified things for him, and really good in the on-ball situation, and just trying to keep a little bit more structure, as well as this, the one-on-one game where he can just take the bigs off the bounce.
Season low, 6 points and 6 rebounds on Tuesday. He's got 8 at the half.
I think the other thing that's restricting Keanu Pender at the moment is the Taipans leaking points. There's another bucket for Melbourne United. They tick over 50 now. That's 3 straight. I mean, they gave up 55 in the first half against Perth, then 50 in the second half. They've just given up 47 to Melbourne United. So when you're taking the ball out of the net, you're not getting up and down the floor. Shannon Scott draws that foul. That's when Pender's at his best. In transition, slapping on the early drag screen and then rolling to the rim. And the tempo of the game at the offensive end isn't there for the Snakes because the defense isn't on point.
Well, I saw him in that last transition as well. He pointed at Adam Ford. I think he's got some problems. Yeah, he pointed at Adam Ford and said, I'm not quite right here. And maybe they might... Oh, it's the blood as well.
That thing just won't stop bleeding.
No. Down the other end of the floor, what they're doing, and we saw in that first half that there was just 1 or 2 times with Melbourne United, the Cairns Taipans were switching everything, and any time there was a little switched on to Isaac Humphries, it was just taken down in the box and he was able to score. And I think if you look at Melbourne United too, for them to really big advantage down low when they do switch with Isaac Humphries down low.
Third meeting of the season between the two teams. Nice hands from Wardenberg. And that'll be a Taipans ball. When they played in round 4, Cairns won 81-77 in this venue, and then in round 6, the Taipans demolished Melbourne at home, 97-72.
Yeah, they had troubles, and Pinder was big in both of them. You know, he has averaged 22 and 10 across those 2 games. I don't know, I might be underselling the bleeding on the lip, but it's in an opportune spot there to literally just suck it up. Isn't it? Just keep sucking up the blood, and because they really need him out there.
Scott threw it up there. That was a wild attempt. And this is Keanu Pinder, who's got a steady stream of blood coming from the lip. What's the fix for that one, Drewy?
Suck it up. Just suck it up and play through it.
Let's get to Copes courtside.
Man, I hear you two guys up in there talking about suck it up. That cut is very deep. So what is he going to do, suck up blood all day?
Yeah,
yes.
Come on.
That's exactly right.
Full time.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my goodness. Come on, guys.
Hogue. Tries himself. Not short. 5 of 19 from deep. Tonight, the Taipans. Keanu Pinder's at the scorer's table. Getting ready to come back in. And this margin continues to stay at double figures for the Taipans. They can't get any closer than that. And Scott misses the layup. And a late whistle. Will be on Shea Ely, and that is going to be his third.
I imagine that whistles by virtue of the change in rule. Here's the conversation between Golding and referee Vaughn Mabry, saying that he's been headbutted on purpose.
Time out, Melbourne.
And you'll remember last time these two teams, well, tell us about the words that were
more sort of different areas of.
I'd do the same to you. I would do the same to you guys. I would do the same to you guys.
Well, he wasn't happy, was he, last time with the treatment from Mirko Jeric?
Well, that's right, and I think he made some accusations which subsequently he apologised for in the heat of the moment, and perhaps Mirko just getting under his skin again. When you talk about the change of rules, what rule are you referring to on that occasion?
Yeah, the defensive no charge arc under the basket. And look at the beautiful shot there as we go into the darkness of night. As the sun has set in Melbourne. Airborne offensive player, defensive player inside that defensive no charge area, and it's a blocking foul.
I thought that was pretty straightforward on that one. I couldn't see where they took off from, of course, but maybe that might have been the issue.
Pinder got in the way of that one. Shannon Scott wide open for 3. That doesn't go, and Tucker takes control of that. Rebound number 7.
Well, they're 5 of 20 now from the three-point line. As we keep mentioning an outdoor game, maybe that's got something to do with it. Could be a little swirly down there. They take the most threes, but they only shoot it a little over 30%, so they don't shoot it all that well from the three-point line.
Mirko Jeric is following Chris Golding around again and really getting under his skin. You could just see some body language. And then there's the foul from Golding. And you just saw on that last play, Chris kind of shaking his head and not too happy with it.
And that's what he's doing. He is just no team defensive principles. He's just locked in to Chris Golding and just trailing him, fighting over the top of the screens, just trying to make life miserable for him.
51-43. Cairns still yet to have a player inside double figures. As Jarek misses that one. Ratan Mays running the point for Melbourne. Shaley sitting on the bench with 3 fouls currently. Mason Peatling misses his second attempt from outside. Pinder downhill, only Lee in front of him. There's that wingspan again.
No doubt the length of Lee disrupted that finish.
Push in the back.
Tell you how on Bull Qualdrew will be his third. He just has not been able to get himself in this game.
No, he hasn't had a lot of looks. Only had the 1 field goal attempt and is yet to score. And that's really a problem. You know, opportunistic guy. Perhaps they don't run a lot of sets for him, but needs to see a little bit more than what he's been seeing it so far. I tell you what I do like. Ratan Mays has only played 12 minutes in the game so far. But his whole body language, the way he's accepted this role as Brad Newley gets his way in the paint, really speaks volumes to his character as well, the way in which he's handling this change of role. Because early on, he was scoring in, he had a 30-point game and was a real prominent part of it.
He is at the elbow. His minutes are down to 21 a game. He was as high as in the early 30s at the start of the season, Lee.
Coming off his first NBL donut last week. Single digits in 4 of his last 5, but as Drewy says, as Tajir McCall knocks down that triple wide open, has just got on with it. He said, all right, Shayili's back and I'm off the bench, and
that's how it looks anyway.
I'm going to come in and do what you need me to do.
And just starting to get it going. Here's the Amy replay. McCall, he's open for a reason. Only 18% see Brad Newley going under. And that can always be a byproduct of what happens on the halftime break. You see, you throw up a Hail Mary and it goes in, and then you just start to feel a little bit better about yourself when you're from the three-point line, particularly when you're that open.
Meanwhile, Chris Goulding not feeling very good about anything.
Nope.
Right now, you talk about trying to get under my skin, they've done it. He had 11 points at quarter time, and he's got 12 right now. And Adam Ford's move to put Mirko Jeric on to Goulding and to do all the things that he's doing off the ball and the like is working.
He mumbled to himself, and yep, he's not happy. Not happy at all.
Mirko can go and sit down, and his work is done for now. Pinder, cannon into Illy. There's Mirko Jeric.
And that's really great help by Shea Illy. He knows that this guy can take their bigs off the bounce. So he comes in, and that's where Pinder's got to recognise it, draw it, and then just the kick out. Just the kick out. Easy scoring opportunity.
Taipans are starting to build something. Hogue off the bank.
Is that the 6 to 8 inches you were talking about?
Yes,
Jack.
Yes, sir. The roof's closed, that doesn't go in. Cairns it back within 4. Illy to the rack. They trail by as much as 15, the Taipans, midway through the second quarter. As Coach said at halftime, they're just hanging around. Brad Newley. When's the last time that happened?
Winding back the clock.
Well, he read it beautifully. Comes over for the rotation. He's on Qual in the corner. He sees what's happening, and that's just really good rotation and anticipation by Brad Newley.
Has not been credited with a block this season. He has now.
That offensive foul there on Qual, that's number 4. He can't take a trick right now, Bull Qual, and he's going to need to check out of the game.
Well, but you're really interested to see this. Here you see it. He gets around, gets in front, and just stops. Oh, my. I think Bull Qual has every right to feel a little disappointed with that decision. Didn't do a whole lot wrong.
No coach's challenge left for Cairns either.
Just cuts in front of the defense who's trailing. I don't know what he did wrong.
He'll come out. Sam Wardenberg back in. There's Illy just continuing to be a presence at both ends.
He's given him some issues with that dribble penetration. Retan Mays has done that as well during his limited minutes. And the way he just kept the defender on his back there, Shayili, very nicely done. And meanwhile, despite all of this, all these things that are going against the Taipans,
yeah,
they are very, very much still within striking distance.
They're absolutely. And I think they've done a really good job just to hang around. Oh, here we go.
Oh, hold on. Here we go.
I've got some
Speak on it.
Update.
Speak on it.
Let's hear about it.
If you want to win a spectacular vehicle, the MG ZS EV electric vehicle.
What percentage?
100% electric. And I've had the privilege the last 3 days of driving one of those vehicles.
How does it go?
I'm all in on the electric vehicle, let me tell you. Smooth. Smooth as this guy. This guy here never seems like he's in a rush. DJ Ho.
Is that how it feels in the MG?
It does. That thing, you don't know it's on, even when you turn it on, you don't have it.
You don't even know it's on?
You don't. And just all of a sudden you put your foot on the accelerator and whoosh, away you go.
Good luck getting that back. MG, no chance.
Well, you're right about DJ Hogue. And just these last couple of minutes, he's started to get a little bit on the front foot. Be a little assertive at the offensive end. They're trying to search for answers. Meanwhile, teasing the Melbourne United home fans with cheeseburgers.
First free throw miss of the night.
Yes, Chrissy Burgers, no.
They stay within 7, Cairns. DJ Hogue now their leading scorer with 11. Rajon Tucker not out on the court right now is the game's leading scorer with 20 for Melbourne. That's tough for Retan Mays. McCall's got Wardenberg running the floor. Did well to keep it alive. It's knocked out of bounds. 2:12 before three-quarter time. Big opportunity for the Taipans if they're good enough here, Liam.
Well, they've worked their way back in it here because their defense is lifted in this third quarter. We mentioned that, the struggles that they've had the previous 3 halves, the 2 against Perth and the first one tonight, where they've given up just 10 points in this third quarter so far. Meanwhile, Golding versus Jerick, those two getting reacquainted.
Nice pass, Pinder went up and Marcus Lee said, no sir.
It did.
That had all the makings of another Keanu Pinder dunk. Marcus Lee had other ideas. Shaylee drains the 3 from outside of the other.
Well, it's a 5-point play. That's normally one you'd expect Keanu Pinder to go up and knock it down, and a lot of love going the way of Lee, as it should. Have a look at the replay here. Nice drop-off pass and beautifully timed by Marcus Lee, and he gave him a bit of a look as well to say, not in my house, and then right there, Shayili just walks into a 3-ball. And a lot of love for Marcus Lee.
60-50. A little under 2 minutes before three-quarter time. Short turnaround for Melbourne. They will play Christmas night in history-making basketball against the Sydney Kings. And just to add a little bit of spice, let's go back to last week. And Paul Smith, the owner of the Sydney Kings, had this to say when he was interviewed on the broadcast by Joe Healy.
Your opponents, Melbourne United, had a big win yesterday. What are you expecting from them? Because I feel like they'll be pretty fired up.
Look, the Melbourne Turkeys are flying north for the Christmas party, so we're going to invite them up and we'll have a good night, but they're going all right. The Cockroaches, they're strong, they're hard to beat.
Can't help himself, can he?
Well, I'm looking forward to this one, 6:30 p.m. Really nice, because you need to tuck in the bed a little bit earlier, so the earlier start sits with me magnificently. And it's just had a little afternoon kip. Up we pop, bit of hoops, back down we go.
You'll get a little pre-game shut-eye.
My word, I will. A little afternoon nap, essential to really enjoy this Sydney Kings Melbourne United hoops fest.
What's the plan in the Santa Maria household? Got the game on?
It's going to be a massive day. Yep, the presents will be flowing early doors, then my side for lunch, Jess's side for dinner, but I tell you, the game will be on in the background. You can guarantee it.
6:30 p.m, of course. Check your local guides, and it's going to be an unbelievably good night as Brad Newley turns it over.
It happened out here. He was thinking about the kick-ahead pass and didn't see the D, tried to pull it back and just got caught out. Did a good job to try and camouflage it, but the refs were onto it.
10-point game. Third meeting of the season between these two teams, and it will be the last as well. McCall drives all the way in over the top of Newley. He becomes the Taipans' leading scorer with 12. Back within 8, but Illy responds at the other end with 2 of his own.
So much attention on Chris Goulding. Mirko Jeric has no help responsibilities right now, and Shea Illy on the attack, taking advantage.
That's a wild pass from Scott. You heard the groan from Adam Ford. Got away with that one.
It's 14 apiece on the turnover rate.
Pinder doesn't get the 3 to go. He's looking for a 2 for 1. Shaley just looked as though he landed a little awkwardly on that ankle, but seems to be okay now. Shot clock at 7.
Look at your bottom of your screen, the way Mirko Jeric is just all over Chris Goulding.
McCall had Pinder up ahead, and he lays it up. They score again on the buzzer, and they're still in the hunt, the Taipans. You can see the frustration building for Chris Goulding. They thought this game should have been in the book. It's not, with a quarter to play at John Cain Arena. 62-54 in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
Well, the sun is set on John Cain Arena, but it certainly hasn't set on the chances of the Cairns Taipans as they continue to cut into this margin and fight back into the game, Leonard Copeland.
Absolutely. Mirko Juric has shut Goulding down. He's in Goulding's pants. He's playing extremely well, and he's got him frustrated.
He is certainly a thorn in his side at the moment. Mirko Juric on defense, Keanu Pinder on offense, Chris Goulding looking to get back into this game and continue his offensive ways. This one is sure to be a cracking final quarter. You reckon it's time to throw upstairs to Jack?
Let's throw it upstairs to Jack.
Take it away, great man.
Thank you, Felix. Thank you, Copes. We have got ourselves a game with a quarter to play. Open air game at John Cain Arena has 8 points to the good of Melbourne with a quarter left.
Well, that's right, and Chris Goulding doesn't start this final quarter.
Mirko Juric does. Buchwald is not having a good night.
That'll be 5 fouls on Buchwald.
It's actually just got worse.
He literally comes back in, plays 15 seconds, and bam, he's out of the game.
He's only played 11 minutes in the game. And again, it looked like he went vertically straight up, was in a sound defensive position, and some nights you just have those nights where the whistle doesn't go your way. And it seems like that's one of those nights.
You just can't believe it. The reigning Rookie of the Year in the NBL and has been shooting the heck out of the ball. 8 from 13 from 3.
So he had one shot tonight.
Over his last 3 games. He's got a donut, 5 turnovers, 5 fouls, and he's watching the rest of the game.
Guessing that wasn't on the Christmas list.
5 fouls, so they have 30 seconds to make it something.
Buchwald's night is done. We haven't seen Jonah Antonio yet tonight, and we've only seen a small amount of Ben Air. So a shorter rotation from Adam Ford tonight.
Well, it is, and those guys can be instant offense off the bench too, and they've been struggling for offense, only have the 54 points and shooting it at 38%. So there may be a time where you can inject one of those guys and see if they can knock down some shots.
Well, I imagine the reason we haven't seen much of those guys is because of extended run from Mirko Juric, because he's got that job on Chris Goulding. Meanwhile, right now, Goulding out as he saved Juric in, and he's warming into the game.
Hogue, his pass inside, McCall, good enough to finish under pressure.
And that's going to be on. You've seen the first couple of possessions here and throughout the night, but in particular start this one. Anytime Keanu Pinder touches it, they're sending the instant double team, and he's done a good job passing out of the double team the last couple of possessions.
14 points for McCall. Tucker unloads. Gets himself to 23.
Shooting the heck out of the ball himself. 4 of 6 from long range. The scout was to give him a gap, let him shoot it, and he's made them pay.
Wardenberg off the front. Loose ball fell out to Pinder.
Okay.
Taipans with 5 on the shot clock. McCall's floater doesn't go. Pinder over the back. Puts it back in.
Beetling just goes up, forgets to box out. Keanu Pinder just comes over the top of him.
Fourth on the ladder right now, the Taipans. 10-6 on the season. They will not want to get themselves into that middle bunch of teams. A win tonight will keep them adrift of that. And that doesn't go for McCall.
Jesus, he's just incredibly athletic to Jim McCall. The hang time previously, there's the AMI replay. You see the late contest as per the scout. And Tucker drills it. Time to adjust that coverage at this point. And then down the other end, McCall, ability to stride his way through the Euro step, through the contact, and get to the foul line.
Oh, dear.
Oh, my.
Well, maybe the roof is off, so maybe Copes or Felix, is there a bit of a breeze going on down there?
I'm not sure we can blame the roof for that one, can we?
Well,
goodness. Tajir McCall throwing up an air ball from the free throw line. Tucker had space. Not that time, though. 4 of 7 from outside tonight for Rajon Tucker. McCall downhill.
Oh my.
There's Brad Newley again.
Block number 2 for the veteran.
And this is believe it or not, it's a dangerous time for Melbourne United. Cairns are just hanging around. They're hanging around, staying in touch distance, not necessarily playing great basketball. And we've seen this a few times, particularly early in the season, when it gets a little tight for Melbourne United. They haven't always had the answers. Some good minutes by Brad Newley. But the 5 points, 2 of 3 from the field.
2 blocks.
Couple of blocks.
Golding comes back in. So does Jarek.
12 points for Chris Golding on 3 of 8. Majority of that coming in the first half.
All right, we got 16 on the shot yesterday.
There's Jerry. Wearing Golding like a second skin at the other end of the floor.
Is that a snake reference?
It wasn't, but it could be. Hogue might have got away with a push himself there and drew a foul on Ratan Mace.
11, hit, baseline.
Tomorrow night, Adelaide take on Southeast Melbourne at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. And the hits just keep coming here in round 12 of the Hungry Jacks NBL. Sydney and Melbourne on Christmas night. And then a double header on Boxing Day. That's your next 3 or 4 days well and truly sorted. Fit in a bit of turkey, a bit of trifle in between all of that.
Big games too. You love your trifle?
Love trifle. Nance trifle.
That one tomorrow night is big. All those guys missing for the Phoenix. No Brokoff, no Brown, no Alan Williams. Now, that becomes must-win type of category for the 36ers.
Ratan Mace has been able to get going offensively. 0 from 4 from the field. Clever play from Scott. Saw that pass coming in. And McCall. Only Peatling in front of him. And one.
Here they come, Drewy. Here come the Taipans.
And for me, if I'm looking this and I'm Chris Golding, my eyes would be lit up if Jarek is playing me like this, because I'm getting him beat left, right and centre on backdoor cuts like you wouldn't believe. He's right up into your space, and just a little bit of contact, you throw him off balance, and provided you've got the coordination with the passer, here's a sitting duck. But right now, I haven't seen any of that action from Melbourne United.
In the huddle, the conversation, talk to Shea Yilly, Xavier Ratan Mays, say, find me on the back cut.
On the back cut, because he's right up and in, overplaying everything, and you just drive at him, and it's hard to guard when you're that tight off the ball.
It's deep from Hogue. Here's Lee. He can't score either. 3 opportunities for Melbourne. Cairns hold up defensively. Scott threw it upstairs. Lee knocks it away.
Well done by Marcus Lee, staying at home on the roll man and blowing up that play.
Adam Ford, headless on the sidelines, thought that was a travel.
Well, he was wrong on that one, because it was just a fumble. If you fumble it, and it just slips out of your hands, you're allowed to go get it, which he did there.
And then time out. You guys get the ball. Melbourne. Time out. Melbourne. This one, you get hit.
Timeout call by Melbourne United. 67-61 at John Cain Arena. We've got ourselves a 6-point game. Timeout call by Dean Vickerman.
Delicately poised. This one, the Taipans have just managed to wrestle back control of the tempo here. And that last play or two didn't quite work out their way, but getting deflections, causing a bit of chaos at the defensive end. Ongoing management here for Keanu Pinder. They're trying to glue up that lip and restrict the blood flow. But they have just managed to open this game up a little bit. To Jim McCall in the open floor, Keanu Pinder on the offensive glass, and they are back now very much within striking distance.
Tajir McCall, the leading scorer, with 17 for the Taipans. Rajon Tucker, the leading scorer for Melbourne. He has 23. Six-point game at John Cain Arena with the roof open tonight. What a magical setting it is. A big shout out to everyone that's in the house tonight. There's a few of the Melbourne Boomers girls. Tess Madgen in the front row, and there's Danny Minogue as well. Wouldn't miss a Melbourne game for all the money in the world, would she?
She's at every single game. It's fantastic. She's fallen in love with the sport, and good on her.
And sponsors pay a lot of money to be able to see this, all right? The ring.
6 minutes and 9 seconds left.
Challenge for the Taipans is to continue to be disruptive defensively. They've been that thus far in this fourth quarter. Get your hands on the ball, get some deflections, open things up at the offensive end.
Oh no!
Oh no! Hold on.
It's a little bird dropping.
This can be the other side of having an open air game. Is that
human nature? Seagulls, and one of them said, "I need to just relieve myself," and it's gone on the courts. This goes back to in the 80s when we played at the old Albert Park Stadium.
Oh, the possums.
And the old possum droppings.
Drop that one from a long way up, that bird. Golding found some space finally and scores.
Go on, Jarek lost him.
Yeah, he did.
That's his first field goal since the first quarter. Chris Golding.
And a nice set for Melbourne out of the timeout. Jarek's pass was risky. Return Mays for Golding. Extra one for Peatling. 4 points in 40 seconds.
Good find from Golding. Timeout, Cairns. The turnover. The turnovers have plagued both these teams across the evening at different times, but right now in crunch time, these ones, the live ball turnovers in particular, are a big, big problem, and Melbourne United cash in down the other end.
I had some of my own medicine.
Well, they did, and that last one there was just a poor pass by George. It got picked off, and like you said, down the other end, he just that one assignment that he had been doing quite well. Just lose vision one time, and Chris Golding makes him pay.
Just about a full house at John Cain Arena tonight. First time in a couple of years that the roof's been open. It's been a brilliant spectacle as well. Melbourne United 8th on the ladder. And as far as home games go, this is going to be it for quite some time. Their next 3 games, they'll be away on Christmas night at Kudos Bank Arena. They'll play in Brisbane on New Year's Day. They'll play in Tasmania in round 14 on the Saturday because of the Australian Open tennis.
Yeah.
As far as home games are concerned for Melbourne, this is pretty much it for them now. And there is the great man.
Larry Kesselman, who is the owner of the NBL. And he'd be delighted with what he's seeing here this evening in regards to packed house, magnificent pitches, beautiful Melbourne night, and a high-quality game of basketball.
Important possession here for Cairns out of the timeout. It's something going their way. McCall stuffs it inside for Pinder. He forces it in. Got it back to 8. Can they get closer than that? They were at 6 before that previous timeout. Haven't been able to get themselves any closer. Return Mays. All the tricks, but no finish.
Just hasn't been able to finish. 0 for 6 now, 0 for 3. Only has the 1 free throw for the 1 point on the evening.
Ode lost the ball, but it was last touched by Melbourne, according to the officials.
It looked like that was off Hogue. Officials have called it Cairns' ball. Dean Pickerman has the challenge. He won his challenge earlier in the first quarter. He's going to keep it holstered right now.
Foul. Foul 59.
That wasn't too subtle.
Push in the back.
That time by just knew he was out of position, so just pushed him. Hey, John Tucker just give him a push in the back.
It's a second personal, but it's a 4th team foul. So free throws the rest of the way for the Snakes.
Very human.
Tucker, the game's leading scorer with 23. Of course, you can win your way to LA courtesy of Hungry Jack's. Trip for 4. Just need your code and you can enter now with the details that are on your screen. Hogue missing out off the inbound. Really couldn't draw a foul. Tucker cuts through and scores.
They just can't get over the hump here. The Taipans, Melbourne United coming up with the answers. Every time they cut it into single digits, the Snakes, Melbourne get a stop and a score and hold on to their lead.
There's that last basket from Tucker. We heard earlier how comfortable he's starting to feel. It shows the way that he's played in his last 8 games. Golding from outside. It's go time now for the Taipans. If they want to stay in the hunt, they need to score like that.
Well, they also need to get some stops. You want to go on a run, you can't trade buckets. You got to get 3 or 4 stops in a row and see if you can cut into this margin. Right now, they keep giving up scores. They're going to lose this thing by double digits.
Golding over the top of Jerry. Just rattles out.
Well, there you see Jerick, and it's only a half a step, but he's trying to fight over the top. He just retreats a little bit there, and he gets run straight into the screen like he's going underneath, and that's all the time that Chris Golding needs. Just needs to stay on his hip and come from behind and get some help from the guys guarding the screener.
The double comes for Pinder. There's Hogue wide open. Doesn't knock that down. 4 of 12 for the night for DJ Hogue.
7 from 27 overall from long range for the Taipans.
Shannon Scott picks Isaac Humphrey's pocket, and then Illy picked his pocket.
It's just good hustle. Shea Illy comes out. Scott just left the ball hanging out there for a half a second too long, and Shea Illy good enough to swipe that one away. Shannon Scott's had a tough night at it. 1 of 8 from the field. Keanu Pinder, he is not feeling all that well.
Scott for 3. Keeps the Taipans in the hunt. And it's at this end of the floor, Liam, as you said, it's been a massive problem for them. They come up with a stop.
Well, that was a big couple of possessions. The 3-point hit from Scott, and then the stop there, and the foul will send the Taipans walking 94 feet to the free throw line. Not quite 94 if they're going to stop at the line. But this was a big play. Tajir McCall finds Scott, bang, cuts it to 8, and now a chance to cut it even further here for DJ Hogue at the stripe.
Yes, now or never in the possessions with only a little over 2.5 remaining. And a bit more scoreboard pressure. Just makes Melbourne United think about it. Those shots that Chris Golding coming off those threes become a little tougher when the scoreboard tightens up a little. Good free throw shooter. Hogue, 75% on the season.
They're within 6, but this is the hump that you've been talking about. They can't get closer than 6. Foul on Jarrett.
Trying to stay attached to Chris Golding. He knows they're running action for Golding right now. Only the second team foul, though.
Cairns 6-2.
Oh, he got that.
On the road this year, he did get that.
To Gia McCall. Coming up with the big defensive play in the big moment.
Well, a bucket here, and then it starts to put a little bit more pressure on some of the shots that Melbourne United are going to take.
Hogue with 13 points. Can see a path to the basket. Nice take.
I like this from Adam Ford. He said pre-season, DJ Hogue's going to be our guy. When we're talking about Keanu Pinder as the MVP contender. But he said, DJ Hogue, in big moments, we can put the ball in his hands and he can get us a bucket. So they put Shannon Scott to the corner, put the ball in Hogue's hands, and he draws the foul on Mason Peatling. A chance to cut it down to 4.
And you're right, on that weak side, when you look at that replay, usually you're wanting a guy on your help defense on the split line, but Scott's just made a 3, so Shea Illy doesn't commit all the way to the split line. And wow, that doesn't help the cause.
Burgers haven't been dealt out yet. And still haven't. 5-point game. Cairns haven't been this close since the early stages of quarter number 3. Illy misses the layup. Pinder knocked it off the cylinder. Melbourne get the ball back, and Golding is fouled.
Ends up being a good foul. It's Golding, they were scrambling there, and Golding was threatening from long range, and on just 2 team fouls, managed to give that up professionally.
But they're the ones that, when you're trailing though, Pinder hits it off the rim and almost grabbed that off the rim rather than hitting it away. It seemed like you had a bit more time as we take a look at the beautiful city of Melbourne. And the MCG to the right. Here we see John Cain Arena. Behind that, Rod Laver Arena. Margaret Court Arena in there as well.
Absolutely spectacular. Show me a league around the world, Jack, that will play a game with the open air and bring you shots like that. Meanwhile, Ray John Tucker, another highly productive evening. Here's the highlights from earlier in the night where you can see the sun shining down on the floor, and he was up and about early. 7 first quarter points. He had 18 at the half. And when he's knocking shots down from long range, everything opens up for Ray John Tucker. 4 made triples tonight on 7 attempts, 25 points. He has been a thorn in the Taipans side since the opening tip.
That's true, and he's one of those players that when he's knocked down a few, he exudes confidence. Some guys can go 0 or 5 and still make something happen, and it doesn't really impact other parts of the game. But the more I watch him, he's still super talented. He can do a variety of different things, but he really generates a lot of confidence if he sees those perimeter balls go in.
So Cairns have 3 fouls next to their name for the quarter. As we pointed out, Melbourne have no more fouls to give. Every foul from here on in will be Taipans free throws.
Looks pretty good.
Cairns were down 15, and in fact were down 13 not that long ago. But credit to them, they've hung around and they've found a way. It hasn't been their most polished performance by any stretch, but they've found a way to stay in the game with 2 minutes remaining. Illy. He can't score, and Jarrett kept Peatling off the glass.
Really good switches from the Taipans. McCall and Hogue ready to switch on to Golding to deny.
Hogue slips over. Tucker in the open court.
Wow.
That right there is entertainment.
My word, that was thrown down with some sort of force. Here it is here. This is just a slip. Just perhaps a little bit of humidity, and that is just rising above and throwing it down with all sorts of authority. What a turn of events. Just a slip.
Wow. An opportunity there for the Taipans. Got the crucial stop and had the ball in the hands of the right man at the right time, and then the wrong thing happened.
Just feel a bit of the air get sucked out of the Taipans off that Tucker dunk. And the task just got a little bit harder for them.
.27 points for Tucker. That is a superb outing for him.
90 seconds to play. Ho guarded by Tucker. And now McCall over the top of Peatling. He's keeping them in this game.
He is. Perfect result. Chance for a three-point play, or if not more, if they come up with the old boards. And just goes by Peatling. You can see the disappointment in Peatling.
A huge fourth quarter. In fact, a huge second half from Tajir McCall. He has been outstanding. 21 points to go with 7 rebounds, 5 assists. They're within 5 because of him.
Chance to cut it to 4 right here, with still plenty of time on the clock. So don't write off the Taipans just yet. McCall coming up with massive plays at the offensive end. Got to cash in from the stripe.
Carnage off that rebound, and it's a Cairns ball.
Well, they'll check it. The refs can throw this to the replay center without a challenge from the coach to make sure they've got this out of bounds call right.
They're checking out of bounds.
Bodies came flying in.
Yeah, I think they made the right call. It looked like Tucker hit it out from that angle. Close one. Tajir McCall coming over the top, but Tucker hits it. Ooh, a lot of hands in there. I can understand why the official called Cairns ball. It does look like Tucker.
Foul. Call on the floor stays. Scott gave it up for Pinder. That's missing. Ho gets it back for the Taipans. A minute remaining. 5 the difference. McCall. He's short as well.
Well, they're the wrong guy shooting those 3 balls.
They really did. Scott had it through it.
They did. I don't know why he passed it up. Maybe just off balance a little bit. And Keanu Pinder let one fly. And then Tajir McCall. Now, I know he's made a few, but only 18% on the season. So it's not something that he's all that comfortable with.
And he didn't really need the triple. No. Scott was open, probably should have let it fly, but if it's a Tajir McCall, you're having all kinds of success attacking the rim. He lets it fly, and an opportunity missed for the Taipans.
Ready, guys? Here we go.
And one. A frustrating night for Adam Ford. He's seen his team do some things well, but haven't done some things to the level that he sets. And a foul's been called. It's not an out of bounds. A foul's been called on McCall. And Adam Ford can only wonder what if, because they have no challenges left.
2 shots, Jay.
Well, that's right. It did look like there was a bit of contact with McCall reaching in here. Have a look right there. And that's a foul.
Thing is, it was a late foul whistle. It looked like he was watching it go out of bounds, and then as Illy reached for his chin, the official's fist rose to the air.
Yeah, but I think it's a foul.
I hear you.
Put the wrong man on the line. He's 6 of 6 tonight. Shea Ilian, 85% from the stripe on the season.
Timeout, Ken.
Adam Ford wants to have a chat about things. 46 seconds left. They're going to have to be good from here, the Taipans.
They are, and I think right now he's drawing up to some sort of action that's going to see a three-point field goal attempt, you suspect. Now, if you can get something really cheap and play the free throw game, that's what they're going to have to do. But just explore the three ball on this one because time's against them.
So does Tajir McCall check out here, do you think, Drewy, and a three-point shooter comes in?
Well, it depends on what the alternative is. And
you've got some other guys.
You do, but they haven't played a whole lot.
You're right.
In this game.
Ball Qual will be helpful right about now.
Reminder of what's coming up on Christmas night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. History in the making, the Sydney Kings and Melbourne United to do battle for the first time ever on the 25th of December. If you can't be there in Sydney, and I'm told ticket sales are going really, really well for the night too, which is fantastic, but if you can't be there, depending on where you're living, it'll be being into some metropolitan states on free-to-air, on others, you can check it out, of course, like you do every single game on ESPN, but it is going to be a very, very special night.
Home of hoops, ESPN. We've got it all covered.
Worldwide leader.
And worldwide leader. Next day, if you just want to kick back and just completely absorb yourself in all day NBA action, and then another NBL game on Boxing Day.
We've got two, in fact.
Outrageous.
Tasmania and New Zealand, and then Brisbane and Perth. Cairns looking to manufacture something and do it quick.
Great play.
Good look for Hogue. It goes.
Really good play in the hands of the right man, and he drills it.
They're within four. Golding slipped over but got it away. And Peatling takes it all the way.
That's in play. Didn't have to shoot it. It's a quick score. Needed to go in, and it did go in. Almost suspected that maybe Peatling just pulls that out, but decides to go in there, and a little floater, a little tricky one that had to be made, and he made it.
Really tough finish. Over the outstretched hand of the athletic Pinder. Floated it in perfectly.
We'll make sure that we get all the sweat off the court. Humidity now a factor late in the night with the roof open. McCall took it straight at Peatling. Pinder closes the lid, and it's within four again.
They need a foul here, the Taipans.
They haven't been able to foul Tucker. Golding thought about it. And now we'll walk to the free throw line to shoot two.
That is a good decision to go with a normal foul, as you heard the official in the background. 87% free throw shooter Chris Golding.
What's Ray-John Tucker, Drewy?
Ray-John Tucker is a very good player, and he shoots it at 72% from the free throw line.
Well, he was the guy to foul.
Just hard when you're in the back court because you're always worried about that unsportsmanlike.
Just got to get it done.
You've got to get it early. You've got to have him in front. You've got to have a reach for the ball and be able to get it away. But as soon as he gets on the move, very hard.
They had him pinned against the baseline.
Yeah, that's when it had to happen.
He's only missed 4 free throws for the season, Chris Golding.
Yeah, not happening.
One.
Rattles the second one home. Mason Peatling comes out. United fans are on their feet. One last chance for Cairns. Hogue with another three.
Oh, man. Would have almost been inclined to foul if I was Melbourne United. Up 6. So it would be a big call, but Hogue has done this before. Knows he needs the triple, works off the Pinder screen. beautiful step back, bottom of the net.
He's worked his way to 20 points. What's the strategy out of this timeout? Firstly, for Melbourne.
Well, Melbourne United, they burn their last time out so they can advance the ball. The first thing is getting a play to make sure you can inbound it. And you've got to inbound it to the right person because you know they're going to foul. So you want to try and get it into the hands of Chris Goulding, who's their best free throw shooter, available free throw shooter percentage-wise. So somehow or other, you're going to set up a play for him and try and get it in his hands and make sure he's also preferably catching in a spot where you don't have the sidelines to help you defensively. And because you get caught up into that, then the 5-second violation comes into play.
What about for Cairns, Liam? Can you afford to be fussy with who you're fouling, or are you just taking the first foul?
What they actually need is to steal the inbounds.
Yeah,
that's it.
Because if you foul, now it's a 2-possession game if they knock one of these free throws down. So you can't be too fussy because you really need to be denying everyone so you can get a hand on that ball. But from there, a quick foul. And keep in mind, no timeouts remaining for the Taipans. So after the free throws, if they occur, they're going to have to go the length of the floor.
Mason Peatling entrusted with the inbound duties.
Oh, he traveled.
Oh, my.
The plot thickens.
Opportunity now for the Cairns Taipans.
And the ball must go to DJ Hogue. Snakes wanted to go quickly, catch United on the hop. They're checking the clock. Here's the travel from Goulding, the catch, and all kinds of happy feet.
That is absolutely a travel. And this is not the first time he's done this. It's a little habit he's developed that is causing him some problems.
So Vickerman puts his best defender, Shayili, on DJ Hogue.
Cairns to send this one to overtime. Trailing by 3. McCall got it away. Misses. United hang on. What a contest. All the way to the end. And Melbourne United make it 4 of their last 5 and are starting to get some serious momentum.
Oh, absolutely. This is the Melbourne United that I think most people expected from the start of the season. They've worked their way through some challenges. They've got a lot of heavy lifting to do, but their last month has been their best month. Looks like they're really establishing the roles on the team, and as such, getting some really good results. Chris Goulding doesn't seem too happy about things. Upset with that last decision, but a great outcome for Melbourne United. A Footlocker player of the game. Well, very little doubt about this. Rajon Tucker with 27 points, 9 of 18, and throwing a handful of boards as well. And here's the last play. The double team, and not a bad look at the end, just the wrong guy shooting it.
I like the double from Melbourne United. Make somebody else beat you. Don't let DJ Hogue get that shot off, and in the end, you've got a sub 20% three-point shooter forcing one up, and it's hard off the iron. You hold on to the game.
United take their season record to 9-11. We're going to come back and break it all down on the other side of this. Melbourne win 84-81 in the open air game.
Well, it was almost a Christmas miracle, but it was Melbourne United who played the Grinch tonight as Chris Goulding steps up in the big time and gets it done. A much-needed win for Melbourne United. Cairns Taipans fans, be sure that your team fought valiantly to try to steal this from the jaws of defeat with Leonard Copeland. Unfortunately for the Taipans, it was Melbourne United's night.
That was a tough one. That was scary at the end because that tells you Cairns will not give up. They're going to fight all the way through and give themselves a chance.
Well, I'll tell you what, Melbourne United might just be signing a fourth import, and that is Ray John Tucker's mother, because when she's in the house, this man puts on a show. The footlocker player of the game, he was doing it inside, outside, wherever you want it tonight. Ray John Tucker was the man.
27 points, 8 rebounds. He shot at 50%. He played like one of the best imports out here. And you're right. If I'm Melbourne United, I'm keeping his mom out of here.
He's got the whole family out here for Christmas, and they'll be remaining here, luckily, for Melbourne fans. And we have to give credit to the Cairns Taipans. They refused to die throughout the game. Multiple moments they clawed back, even had a shot to send this one to overtime. And I'll tell you what, you cannot speak higher of the Taipans.
You can't. DJ Hogue was magnificent at the end of the game, shooting threes. But Tucker was the man.
Well, that's all we've got here from John Cain. We've got a game tomorrow with a big one. Sydney-Melbourne, Christmas Day. Thanks for tuning in.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Everyone knows your